Hello my gorgeous makeup loving friends. I know it's been a while since we did releases and rants, but what with everything going on in my personal life, it has been kind of difficult to sit down and film. Unfortunately, Tia couldn't make it this week. She has her own life going on, so you're stuck with me for the moment. But I wanted to say a massive thank you to everyone who sent on such lovely kind of well wishes for me over the last 2 weeks. I know I had a few people who said, oh, you don't have to explain why you're going to be away from YouTube. But I kind of feel like you guys are so good for giving me your time, and I really appreciate that. So I really want to make sure that there's a transparency between us as to why I'll be missing from time to time. But I really do appreciate it. It's been a really challenging couple of months. I've had a lot of stuff going on in the background. So I really, really appreciate you guys being so incredibly patient with me. I super appreciate it. That's all I really wanted to say getting into this, because we do have a lot of things to talk about, because I want to talk about some of the stuff that has released in the interim. So there's a couple of things that have already kind of been released, people have tried, etc. But I want to give my thoughts on them. And a huge thank you to everyone who has been tagging me. I massively appreciate it. It makes my little heart soar when I see you guys tagging me in things. I have one other little piece of news, and that is to do with Makeup Release Radar. You have probably heard me speak about Makeup Release Radar in the past. They are a really amazing resource over on Instagram, and they have a Facebook as well, and they outline some of the new makeup releases, and they have always been so incredibly helpful to me in the past by providing pictures, information, all of these things around new makeup releases. When I tell you she has her pulse, like she has her finger on the pulse of what it is that's happening, like she is working tirelessly on that. So she's gotten quite a platform on there, and deservedly so, because it does take an awful lot of work to do that. But what has happened is, unfortunately, her account has essentially been taken down due to violations. I think she's tried to appeal it, but it hasn't really worked out that well. But she will be coming out with another new Instagram page. So when that comes out, I will be letting you guys know, so keep an eye out. Also share your love down below for Makeup Release Radar. Keep an eye out for them. They're super talented, and I just love it, and I really appreciate all the support that they've given to me in the past, and I will try and support them in any way I possibly can. But other than that, let's just get straight on in to some of the new makeup releases, or at least newish makeup releases. It feels like we get quite a bit from Glamlite, and this is their Hersheys collection, and I feel like it's maybe their third Hersheys collection, but there's a lot in it. They had two kind of separate kind of chocolate collections. There was the cookies and cream, and there was the milk chocolate, and they had PR boxes, and they were in various prices. You know, you could get it with the PR box and without the PR box. There was a Crème highlighter, these two different like lip kit bundles, there was palette bundles. All in all, actually, I have to say, looking pretty nice, and the price is not too bad at all. And I have to say, further development, Glamlite have started shipping to Ireland, and I have lost my mind and bought quite a few things with them recently. So it is quite nice to see that they have been taking some things on board, and they are making these things available. I do feel like the cookies and cream eyeshadow palette kind of reminds me a little bit of the e.l.f. American Eagle palette that came out a couple of months ago, but I feel like maybe Glamlite formula would be a little bit better. You know, just saying, because I have played a little bit with what I've gotten so far, and I do think these are actually quite nice. They're relatively inoffensive. It's funny though whenever I think of Glamlite, because I just can't think of them outside of the collaborations that they do. They're a bit like HipDot. They don't really exist in and of themselves. They are a brand that does collabs or does themes, which is fine. But I do like that they have this kind of catered towards like deeper skin tones as well, because there's like a bronzy highlighter thing, which is gonna look beautiful on deeper skin tones. So they very smartly haven't put the two collections together. Like there's no bundle available that I'm aware of, at least on the website, where you can get the whole collection of the palettes, all of the highlighters, etc. together, which honestly makes sense, because I could use the cookies and cream highlighter and it looks beautiful, but I wouldn't be able to use obviously the deeper one. That would look insane on me. Now I think the palettes themselves, they are quite nice. They're very wearable, kind of quite everyday, and not wildly expensive either. If you did put a gun to my head, because obviously this happens an awful lot, I would definitely say the cookies and cream one is a little bit more my thing, but I do think they both look very nice. And the lip bundles look quite pretty as well. There's kind of more of a nudie one for the cookies and cream, and there's more of like almost like a warm chocolatey one for the milk chocolate, which again makes sense. And I have to say, all in all, actually a very nice collection. I think they've done very well, but it does feel a little bit like, ooh, how many times can you do a chocolate collection? Don't get me wrong, I'm a gal who loves chocolate. You don't get this physique without loving chocolate. Not Hershey's so much, you know, I'm more of a Cadbury's type of gal, but I don't know, it feels like they might have exhausted this a little bit, because they did have their little Hershey's Kisses things before, so I don't know, I feel like maybe they need to leave it there, stop there, but all in all, not bad. And when I put it to you guys, it did okay. The milk chocolate palette got a 16% love it, 28% said how many Hershey's collabs is that now? Because let's be real, there are quite a few. The cookies and cream highlighter did pretty well, 29% love it. The cookies and cream eyeshadow palette did that little bit better, 31% loved it. I will say 31% of you also agreed with me, saying that it looked a little bit like that e.l.f. collab. The lip collabs actually did pretty well, 27 and 29% love it, kind of respectively. But I really felt when I was looking at the kind of cookies and cream one, the packaging reminded me an awful lot of Walma Beauty, and a few of you guys picked up on that as well. The kind of milk chocolate face and body bronzer did okay. There was an 18% love it, because at the point that I put that out, we didn't have any swatches. It took about a week or two for them to actually get swatches up on their website, but you can actually see them now. So all in all, it did okay. But in classic Glamlite fashion, they couldn't just leave it at that. They have outlined that there's something new coming, and it's a Ghostface collaboration, which I love that they've gone from like Scooby-Doo to Ghostface. Like there's like child horror and then like actual horror. Although I do really like the Scream franchise. Like I kind of, not that I grew up in it, like Jesus, that makes it sound like I had a really weird childhood. But like obviously they were like the big defining horror films of like my late childhood. Yeah, we'll call it late childhood. So I think this is quite interesting, and we're on, is it 6 Scream films? At least 6 anyways. So it kind of makes sense that they're doing this. Now, this is apparently coming out sometime in the autumn, so we don't know exactly what it is. I am glad that they're giving it a little bit of time, because if they had just come out with another collaboration straight away, I think I would have just cried, because it does feel like there's a lot coming from Glamlite these days, and I want to see a little bit more of like a chilling out session, because it does get a bit overwhelming. Like I love makeup, I adore makeup, but there gets a point where you're like, there's too much, I have gotten overwhelmed, I don't need anymore. I mean, I passed the point of need years ago, but I am intrigued by this. I think this could be really, really nice kind of a companion piece to the Chucky palette, because if they do it like grey tones as well, you know, it could be quite an accompany piece. I'm assuming, and this would be such a miss if they didn't do this, that they're going to do like a Ghostface mirror. That would make so much sense. And I think, you know, we could get some really nice like accessories here. It could be really, really interesting. I want to see what's going on here. Like, I don't really know what they can make out of this, but I am intrigued. And when I put it to you guys, it was very much almost like a 50-50 split. We're coming back to Brexit, where 51% of you were excited and 49% said that you were over these collabs, which is not great news for Glamlite, because that's kind of their thing. And we're shifting into another collaboration, and this time it's with SHEGLAM and Harry Potter. I'm not going to say it again, guys. I've said it so many times about I don't really support any Harry Potter collabs anymore. Just look up the information on it. But anyways, it is available now. Quite a few people got it. It's great because it is inexpensive, so if you are into all of that, that's fantastic. The full collection is $49.99. The Hogwarts House palette set was $19.99. You could actually get the palettes themselves for $5.49 each. I kind of said early on that I thought they weren't available, because when I went onto the SHEGLAM site, they weren't selling them individually, but they seem to have changed that afterwards. So my bad, guys. And they had the Bewitching Bruise lip gloss set for $15.99, or you could get the lip glosses separately for $3.99 each, which works out cheaper. But obviously you get the pretty box that they come in, so for an extra 3 cents. went, I guess, go for that. They had the Magic Cauldron Lip Mask for $4.99 and the Gifted Herbologist Glitter Lipstick for $4.99. I mean, it's okay. I do feel, now I grew up on Harry Potter. I absolutely loved Harry Potter. It was one of those, it was a bonding thing between me and my brother. I used to read him the Harry Potter books for him to go to sleep at night because I just enjoyed it, and it was one of our like bonding exercises. We weren't always very close. We had a very tumultuous relationship, some might say. So I have very fond memories of that. So I can see how a lot of people would kind of gravitate towards this and be like, oh my God, it's got me in the feels and the nostalgia. But I do feel like when I'm looking at the palettes themselves, I don't really see the link with the Hogwarts houses. I think the one that's done the best is probably the Slytherin one, but it's okay. The rest are very like lackluster. I couldn't really find any swatches, which was very annoying for me. And I would imagine for anyone who bought it or was in the process of buying it, that would have also been quite irritating. They're okay. This is definitely one of those things of like, it's a collector piece, but for me, not so much. Then of course they had like those lip glosses, and they have them all kind of in line with the various potions that were in the book. So like Polyjuice Potion, the Draft of Living Death, there's Amortensia, and there's Felix Felicis. And I will say have linked in quite well with the books in terms of like the colours that they're going with. And they do look quite nice. They're like a very subtle hint of colour. They've really gone for the packaging of them, to be fair. Like they do look super, super cute, I have to say. And apparently there's like a pleasing aroma with them, which is good because based upon the books, not so much. The lipstick is really funny because like it says it's glittery, like it looks glittery in the tube, and then you see it on the lips and it's just like, where did the glitter go? What happened? Is that the magic trick? Is that what's actually happening here? Very, very confusing. It doesn't seem to translate very well on the lip. Now they do say it's like moisturizing, which is quite interesting. And then we obviously have the lip mask, which to be fair, looks super, super cute. I'm not so sure about that before and after and how true that actually is, but let's be real, don't believe everything that you see on the internet. I do like that they have Meadow Foam Seed Oil because that is actually really good for like the skin. I remember hearing that recently. I can't remember what it does, Titan skin or something. I can't 100% remember. It was on a Robert Welsh video. But I think it's cute. It's not personally for me, but I think quite a few people ended up getting it or enjoyed it. When I put it to you guys, the like palette set, 14% loved it. Quite a few were looking for swatches. 77% said not for me. The lip gloss is 17% if you loved it. The lipstick, 12% if you loved it. And then when it came to the lip mask, 26% if you loved it. So who would have thought that that would have been the thing that made people super, super excited? And then another SHEGLAM, because let's be real, they are putting the fast into fast beauty. This is their Live to Roam collection, and to be fair, it's kind of dialed back. It isn't like a million things, but it is still a lot of things. And there's something about this collection that is giving Jeffree Star vibes to me. It's giving, I'm living out on a ranch filled with yaks, which is fine, you know, to each their own. The full collection is €41.99. Now, if you get the full collection, you get the eyeliners, you get the liquid lipsticks, you get the eyeshadow palette, but you also get a map, which random. A map to what? Who knows? There lies the buried treasure. And also some earrings, which are actually kind of cute, but I have enough earrings, Teresa, I have enough earrings. So it's okay price-wise. Then the palette itself is €6.49. There's 4 different shades of liquid lipsticks for $4.49 each. And then there's 6 different shades of cream eyeliners for $2.99 each. So let's kind of talk about maybe the eyeshadow palette first. Why not? Look, this feels very much like stuff that we've seen before. There's only so many times that you can do a neutral palette. I mean, it's not gonna rock anybody's world at this point. They look fine. I will say that kind of like silvery shade is not what I thought it was going to be. Like when you look at it in the pan and then you look at the swatch, I'm like, oh, okay. It's a very matte heavy palette actually when I'm looking at it. So I think like people would get okay wear out of it. I feel like they put a lot of thought into the packaging of their stuff. Like the outside of the palette actually looks, dare I say it, actually quite quite cool, quite interesting. They're kind of going down the route of Urban Decay of like the outside packaging is way more interesting than the insides. So I don't know, I feel like if you have like any neutral palettes already, you already have this and it's not necessary. I do also feel like this is not going to translate that well on deeper skin tones. I do like that they have a decent level of depth, but like when it goes pale, it goes very, very pale. So there would be some shades that would be very difficult to translate on deeper skin tones without it being like frighteningly ashy. The thing that really made me think that this looked like Jeffree Star stuff was actually the liquid lipsticks, because they have that sort of a tassel-y thing on them, which is what he had on his mascaras. Do you remember that those mascaras that were like, he called them F-proof, and it was like, oh, okay. That's not really what I'm thinking of, but okay, Jeffree. So it does kind of remind me a little bit of this. What I find really interesting is they have these 4 shades, and when you look at them there, you know the palest shade? So it looks like it's a properly like nude, almost like concealer. And then when you see the swatches, that's not what it looks like at all. Like that's the shade All Aboard, and then it looks like really pinky. So I'm super confused. I feel like the swatches do not align with anything that you see in the tube. It's very, very confusing to me. But then when I see it on the lips, again, see All Aboard actually does look somewhere between a concealer lip and being a bit pinky. So honest to God, lads, I don't know what's happening. I don't know what's going on. Very confusing. But there are some like nice shades, like Earthbound looks quite nice. Travel Bay, I believe, is like the deepest one that they have. Although, honest to God, lads, I'm not even really sure at this point. And then On Vacay also looks nice. I will say, I feel like they're probably a little bit too close to each other in terms of tones. Maybe they could have gotten away with 3 instead of 4. Maybe they got a bit greedy. But speaking of kind of editing down their collection, the eyeliners, they have 6 of these, but like they're cream eyeliners. It looks really interesting, and I will say any of the eyeliners I have from SHEGLAM, I actually do think they're very good. They are budge proof, they work really well. If you haven't gotten the multi-chrome, dual chrome ones yet, just do it. Just do it right now. Put them into your bag. You will thank me later. I will say when I was looking at this, well, the packaging looks kind of cute. I like that there's like little camels on that. That's adorable. And I'm kind of wondering if you could use them as like an eye base, you know, the white one. I think that could be really, really interesting. There's part of me that wants to check that out. But when you're looking at the swatches, you didn't need 6. You could have just gone for 4, right? Because Cobblestone, Dirt Road and On Foot, all 3 of them look frighteningly close to each other. So you didn't really need to have the 3 of those together. They could have just had it be the 3 kind of paler shades and the black, and that would have made sense. But that's maybe just me being a smidgen pernickety. But I will say they're like, what, €2.99 each. So if you are looking for something like this, it could work well. I think what is annoying though is they're not sharpenable, they're retractable, so they're not going to be great for people who are like, say, MUAs. Unfortunately, it's not going to work for them. It's going to be great for the like everyday makeup user. But I personally really like a sharpenable pencil. But that's, again, me being super, super pernickety. When I put it to you guys and I showed you the eyeshadow palette, 10% of you loved it. 5% said it's giving Wild Wild West. And when I said that, all I could think of was, you know, the film that Will Smith was in? Wild Wild West, yippee yo, yippee yay, where my dogs at? Come with me now. That's what I was thinking of. So I hope that when you guys voted on that, that's what you were thinking. Because that's where my head was at. When I showed you the new eyeliners, 13% loved it, and 10% also said that some of the shades looked the same. When I showed you the liquid lipsticks, 14% said love it, and 19% of you agreed with me and said that it looks a little bit like Jeffree Star. Patrick Ta came out with some extensions to his major headlines Double Take Crème and Powder Blush Duo. So there's 3 new shades. It's She's Giving, which is a vibrant sort of a blue pink. She's Wanted, which is a rich berry. And She's Flushed, which is a soft peachy pink. And they're $36. They're available now on Patrick Ta's own website. Now, I generally buy Patrick Ta via Cult Beauty. That's just the easiest way for me to get it. And I gotta say, oh, I like it. I think it's really, really cute. I would personally go for She's Giving. She's Flushed is also my kind of thing. Now, She's Wanted ain't gonna work for me, but I feel it's gonna look absolutely stunning on deeper skin tones. And it's really, really nice to see a brand that is as young as Patrick Ta actually taking that into account as well, because you can actually see on their website, they have pictures of how it looks on deeper skin tones, and it looks, I mean, absolutely stunning. It's beautiful. Now, I really love that he has the cream and the powder formula, and it's quite unusual in the way that he says to use it, which is powder first and then the cream on top, which kind of gives you a little bit of a dewiness. I have, I think, one of the duos, or maybe two of the duos, and then the bigger kind of blush palette, and I really, really like them. I do really, really like them. Like I said, the pinky toned one, I think it's the perfect time for him to come out with this, what with the Barbie movie being like all over the place. This is like peak Barbie pink. Absolutely love it. It looks so cool. It's giving 80s. I think it's fabulous. And look, you know me, anything like peachy, orangey, I'm looking at that and kind of going, you're very nice. Get on my face. $36 is obviously super, super expensive. And if you haven't tried Patrick Ta before, it may be one that's like not one that you should be trying just in case, because I feel like wait until it's like a sale. Don't take any big chances when you're talking about something that is as expensive as Patrick Ta. But personally, I think it's super, super cute. And when I put it to you guys, 34% of you loved the sort of deeper berry shade, 39% of you loved the pink one, and 35% of you loved the more peachy one. So this was super, super popular. Made by Mitchell just keeps coming out with stuff, and I think he's like reaching a really big level of popularity, particularly with the way that he's doing TikTok shop. Like he's really, really kind of killing it over there. And he's done a collaboration with Hollie Flynn. Now this is the second time that they've done it, and quite a few of the pieces actually sold out really, really quickly on their website. So the full bundle was €98.99, but that sold out. The pink bundle sold out. Interestingly, the orange bundle didn't sell out. There was a holographic tote bag, a blush in the shade Nancy, which is like a liquid blush, the blush liquid blush My Darling, the blush lights Gloaming, there was a blush lights in Colourpop, they had a blush pressed Palma Violet, which was the more pink one, and that sold out. So again, I think it's really, really interesting that we're seeing like a big trend. We went from like loving the oranges to now it's all about like the pink sort of blushes, and I think that's super, super interesting. And they also then had the blush pressed When I'm Gone. Now these are also available on Beauté. You know the drill, lads. I'll have like affiliate links, etc. down below. They're all marked as to whether or not they're affiliate. I actually got a few of these. I got some of like the blush lights, and I got them via Beauté. So I actually got Nancy, I got My Darling, Gloaming, and Colourpop. So I was very, very happy with that. I didn't get any of the kind of powder blushes. I just really wanted kind of the liquid products, because I do feel like he does them very, very well. I love that he went like full noughties with the holographic tote bag. I feel like he's kind of like killing it these days. And I love that there was very distinct like pink bundle versus the orange bundle, but super interesting to see that the pink bundle outsold the orange bundle. I feel like a year ago, if the orange bundle had been put forward, that would have been the one that sold out. I feel like it's a little bit of the Barbie phenomenon at the moment, that everyone is like super going for pink. And I'm kind of here for it. When I put it to you guys and I showed you that the full bundle had sold out, 13% of you loved it. 32% of you though did say that there's so many Made by Mitchell releases, which I totally agree with. I feel like there's probably a little bit too much these days. The pink bundle was relatively popular. 25% of you loved it. The orange bundle, 25% of you loved it. When I showed you the tote bag, 9% loved it. Then looking at like the liquid blushes and highlighters, etc., they were relatively okay. They didn't do as popularly as I think he would have done in the past. There was like 23%, 20%, and 22% love it, and then 21%. The kind of pressed blushes did, again, okay, 22% and 28%. I just feel like maybe he might be shooting himself slightly in the foot by coming out with so many things. You know, the quality is there, but like when you're coming out with so many, it's very, very difficult to keep up with it. But then Colourpop came out with their new Instant Crush Cream Blush in 8 shades, $12 each. Super, super affordable, totally like that. They say that it's infused with moisturizing cacao butter and shea butter, so be aware of that if you're like allergic to any of these things. And there's a nourishing blend of strawberry, apricot, raspberry and elderberry. I gotta say, very, very pretty looking. It does look like it's gonna swatch on relatively sheer, and it does look like it might be buildable. Now I can't really tell that. Again, they're very smart. They've kind of got that bluey pink going on there, perfect in time for Barbie. $12 is such a steal for that. I think it's so, so great. And I will say, I do like Colourpop's like face products. I wish that they were more easily accessible. I don't really want to have to buy directly from Colourpop because that's just annoying for me. But I feel like the shades that they've got here are actually really quite nice. What I will say is like, they have some deeper shades. There's like 2 to 3 slightly deeper shades. I'd like to see them swatched on a deeper skin tone, because at the moment the swatches that they have on their website are on kind of paler skin tones, and I'd like to see just even what they look like on the face, just to see, are they buildable or are they going to be kind of strange looking on the face. But I do think they look so pretty. They do look really nice. And I mean, this will be really great for like anyways, because you could get the full bundle for like $96 and that could be straight in your kit and not bad at all. I think it's absolutely stunning, if I'm 100% honest. And this kind of frustrates me a little bit because like Colourpop is so hit and miss. Sometimes they do stuff like this is really, really great. And then they do other things and I'm like, what are you doing, Colourpop? I feel like if they did more kind of thought out releases and spaced them out a little bit more, it would be better for everyone, because this is the sort of thing that feels like it was thought out. I also feel like the packaging, again, very on trend. It's like perfectly timed. It just looks really nice. There's something about it that's a little bit naughty feeling. And like these sort of like creamy blushes are just like all over the place. Everyone loves them. And having something that is like very well priced, I think they did really well on this. Interestingly though, when I put it to you guys, 26% of you loved it. And I think it's because a lot of you guys are like me, you're based in Europe. So Colourpop aren't as easily accessible to us. So it is a little bit of a meh. Melt Cosmetics then came out with their sheer finishing powder in 6 shades for $39, and for that $39 you get 9.5 grams, and they vary in shades from very fair to fair, light to light medium, medium to medium deep to dark, dark to deep, and deep to deepest. They say that it's an all-natural, lightweight, multi-use powder that can be used on top of foundation or worn alone. The soft focus finish blurs pores, fine lines and wrinkles, and gives a radiant glow for more youthful, fresh looking skin. Now at this point this has actually been out for a while and I haven't heard anything like major on this, like one way or the other. I think it seems like it's one of those products that's very like, okay, but I feel personally for $39, I'd want something to be amazing. I do think though, there's something interesting about it in that it is talc free. And I'm seeing this kind of trending an awful lot more. We see this like say with House Labs, they've got quite a few things in their arsenal that are talc free. And it's interesting now to see Melt kind of going on that. And when you start seeing the indie brands doing it as well, it's like, oh, okay. Now granted, Melt is like one of the bigger indie brands, but still, I think it's interesting. And they also have like a jojoba oil and a vitamin E in there. So I think it is interesting. I think it's, I find it interesting that when they're showcasing these products and they say it's all about like blurring fine lines, and they've got people here and they're stunning, they're so beautiful, but they're also super, super young, and I don't think they have a fine line on them. I'd like to see a before and after. Show us what it actually looks like, how it is actually performing. I think that's where they've kind of missed a little bit of a beat here. The inclusivity of the shades is fantastic. Like they go very, very deep. Absolutely love that. The fact that it is buildable, like you don't need to have like 50 shades of this. The 6 shades are fine. They're actually quite nice. But I need to see a before and after, because otherwise I'm just like, I don't know what it is that I'm signing on for here. And $39 in my mind, is a lot of money for something that I wouldn't be 100% certain on. And it seems a lot of you guys were in the same sort of boat, because 18% of you loved it, while the majority said that it wasn't for you. And then Fenty decided that they're extending their Velvet Liquid Lipstick. This is a limited edition shade. And again, the timing is interesting. This is their pink limousine, and it's available now on Fenty's own website. Now, I have been checking diligently on Boots' website, because Boots does like sell Fenty, and that's kind of my preferred retailer for buying Fenty, but it's not on there. So I'm kind of wondering, this may be an exclusive with Fenty itself. I don't know, but it's €34, which is like super expensive on Fenty's own website. So I just didn't end up getting it because it just felt a little bit too much. Now, I will say the Velvet Liquid Lipstick formula is very hit or miss. Some people either really like it or some people don't like it. And it does give you a very like specific sensory feel. I think the word velvet is actually correct for this, because it's not that it makes you feel fuzzy, but there is like a really strange texture to it. It looks beautiful, absolutely stunning. And I do have, like, say, the deep red shades. Are you that surprised? I don't know if I like this enough to spend that much money on it. I actually think the lip stunner paint that she has in that shocking bright pink is amazing. I think it's called Unlocked, and it is so beautiful, and I'd sooner kind of recommend that than going for this, because I prefer the formula of the lip stunner paints to this. I do get a little bit frustrated with Fenty, because she has some really great products, but she feels a little bit kind of scattered, because it's like, I'll do a little bit of this, I'll do a little bit of this, I'll do a little bit of this. And then it's like, you have things like your lip stunner paints that haven't been added to in years, and you've just kind of left them there. People love the formula. I think it's like really, really amazing, but nothing has been added there. And either they've just randomly added to this one, but they've made it limited edition. Why? I don't get it. I get very annoyed when brands do limited edition things, because I feel like they're trying to go with the whole FOMO thing. And again, I do feel like they were trying to go with the whole Barbie thing, and it seemed like it was a Barbie collab, but it wasn't. Because I thought it was a Barbie collab just based upon the pink and the fact that it was limited edition, but it isn't. Very, very strange. So for me, I won't be getting it unless it comes to Boots, just because, like, that's the way I like to do it. This is how I stop myself from like compulsively buying absolutely everything. I'm like, unless it comes to this retailer, I'm not getting it. But it didn't do that great with you guys. 21% of you loved it. I think it's just, again, it's that formula. It's very, very hit or miss. Then we had Kim Chi, who came out with the Spacey Nudes 01 Meta Wash Palette, and it's available now for $12. And I mean, it's quite an odd one, because when you go onto the website, there's actually no pictures of swatches, or at least when I went on, there wasn't any pictures of swatches. This is unusual for Kim Chi, because she doesn't really have anything quite like this to date. I do like the fact that this is very, very affordable. This is accessible for an awful lot of people. You really want to support Kim Chi, and you're maybe a little bit nervous of like the brighter makeup. I think this is a great introduction to it. It's very, very matte heavy, very, very matte heavy, which is kind of like that SHEGLAM palette. And actually quite funny, because this is like double the price, but you get a little bit more in terms of your shades. I just really want to see it swatched, and I don't know why they don't have any information on that. There's something about the packaging that makes me feel like it's very Wet n Wild-esque. There's affordable, and then there's cheap looking. Oh god, don't hate me, but I just feel like having that plasticky sort of a look on it. It doesn't look the most luxe. I don't know, but I do appreciate that, like, she is like keeping it affordable so people can try it, and this is a very accessible colour story for an awful lot of people. Is it for me? No, but I think that this was definitely missing in her collection so far, so it was a very, very smart move on her part, but just not for me. When I put it to you guys though, 12% of you loved it. And 22% of you did say that you have to appreciate the accessible price tag, which is what I feel that they've done very, very well on this particular launch. Black Moxy Cosmetics then released their Alien Universe palette for $40 US. Now there are of course affiliated codes that you can get some money off, so it can go down to like say $32 or whatever with codes. I gotta say, for a £9 palette, it's really actually quite nice. What's interesting about this is if you look at the palette itself, like without looking at the swatches, you're like, okay, right, whatever, swipe. You know, you're not that bothered. But it is these swatches, like look at those shades at the very top. Look at how gorgeous they are. I think this is absolutely so, so beautiful. In that palette, you get 5 mattes, 3 multichromes, and 1 duo holochrome. Shut up. I actually feel like that's not bad at all for the price. Again, we're talking about an indie brand. They tend to have like more overhead costs than say like a bigger brand. It's harder for them to keep that profit margin going. I think this is so, so pretty and actually very cohesive in terms of a color story. Yes, there's like a sort of a black in there, but it's not really a true black. There's almost like a green tinge to this. Oh, I really, really like this. And I hope that like in the future, what they do is like, because I can see people like hit and pan on a lot of those multichromes. I hope that they maybe do replacements of those, you know, that you could buy singles down the line, because this is very, very pretty. Do I think you could make a full look out of this palette? No, not really. I would personally struggle a bit, but then again, you're talking to me, the person who isn't that great with makeup. But I do think it's very, very pretty, and I could see this being used alongside with other palettes to get some very, very, very nice looks. I don't know much about like Black Moxy Cosmetics, but I have to say, this is kind of putting them on my radar. I definitely think this is super, super interesting. And when I put it to you guys, 22% of you loved it and 17% of you said that I like some of it. Bella Beauté Bar then have re-released an old palette of theirs, but what they've done is they've remastered it. It's the Sun and the Sea palette. So it's now available for $62. It has 5 unique multichromes, 4 duochromes, and 9 mattes, which includes their upgraded formula. And it's so, so pretty. Like, again, this is one of those ones where if you look at the actual palette itself, you kind of go, hey, whatever, but it's actually the swatches that really kind of sell it. And again, it's those multichromes, like they're singing out on my heart. And what I love is that when I went to the website, you know, to get these particular pictures, because a lot of these are from the website, they have them swatched on a variety of skin tones. So you can see them on paler skin tones versus medium versus kind of deeper skin tones. And I really appreciate that you can see how these are going to look across a multitude of people, and that's very, very difficult for an indie brand to actually do. So I really appreciate that. There's some absolutely stunning shades in there, like the shade Heat Wave. It's actually surprising me that I really like that. The shade Siren, that's not a surprise. I really like that. I feel like they did this really, really well, and I'm gonna say it, like Bella Beauté Bar seem to be knocking it out of the park when it comes to their releases. And yes, this is a re-release, it's a remastered, but I love that what they're doing is kind of constantly trying to improve, and I feel like that is something that as a consumer we really respond to. I do anyways. I love seeing a brand actually kind of go, okay, let's try and make things better, let's see how we can improve upon this particular formula. And I have one Bella Beauté Bar palette and I really enjoy it. It was a gift from the lovely Wilma Fingerdew, so I treasure it. And I gotta say, there's been a lot of stuff from Bella Beauté Bar that has made me kind of go, and they're on my list to get more stuff from. And this is like, on the surface, when I look at this, I'm kind of like, yeah, okay, it looks okay, but it's the swatches that actually do it for me. They look so, so beautiful. And like I said, this is available now if you are interested. And for $62, I actually feel like it's not that bad for A, an indie brand, and B, an indie brand that has multichromes and duochromes in there. It's quite a big palette as well. Like, it's 18 pans, so it's working out as less than $4 per shade, which is actually pretty reasonable. When I got it to you guys, 34% of you actually loved it and 19% said that it depended on the price tag, because when I put it to you guys, we actually didn't know what the price tag was. So I'd love to know what you guys think. Are you here for it or no? And we have another new release from Gloss Gods, and this time it's their second collaboration with Vanity Vane. So if you don't know who Vanity Vane is, they are a Swedish drag performer who was on the Swedish version of Drag Race. Very, very talented. This is their second collaboration with Gloss Gods, and it is FYI a limited edition collection. They've also stated on the website that a certain amount of the proceeds are going to specific LGBTQIA+ charities, which we love. Now, I do say that I wish that they would outline exactly what portion. Is it 1%? Is it 5%? Is it 10%? Because I like definitive information. Otherwise, it seems a bit like, what's going on here? Now, there's quite a bit in this collection, and the best value, to be fair, is the full collection for €89.95, because in that full collection, you get the 2 quads, you get the multi-chromes, the 4 multi-chromes, and you get the power liner. So it actually works out an awful lot cheaper that way. I do have an affiliate link and a code. Now, FYI, if you are getting the full bundle, the code doesn't work because it's already like discounted. But the multi-chromes themselves are €14.95 each, and they come in 4 different shades. The annoyance that I had in showing that and the way that they were kind of photoshopped kind of bugged me, because you can see the line of where it's like attached, and I'm like, oh, your stuff is nice, just double check the way that... I feel like a better way of showing that would have actually been like a video on their site, rather than them trying to get a picture and Photoshop it so that you could see all the dimensions. Like, I get why they did it, but yeah, make sure you're doing it cleanly, because it just, when it's obvious to somebody like me who doesn't have like a background in photography, like it's like, oh, this doesn't look great. The thing that I actually was super interested in was the part of the rainbow highlighter for €17.95, and the shifts that this has is really, really interesting. And what they did really, really well, in my opinion, on the website was they actually showed a video of it rather than having like a static picture of a swatch, so you can really see the dimensions on that. And for just under €18, I feel like that's not bad at all. The 2 palettes are different in price, mainly because one is primarily like multi-chromes. So that one is the Vanity Vane 4 palette for €26.95, and then the other one is pretty much all mattes, and that's €22.95. So you can bundle the 2 of those together for $44.95 if that's what you're interested in. Now, personally, I'm not as into kind of the more matte palette. It's the kind of more multi-chrome one that I'm interested in, but I feel like it's quite like the palette that they came out with not that long ago that made it look like storms and rain and stuff. I thought that was quite interesting. Full disclosure though, I did actually end up buying it because I will say anything that I have from Gloss Gods, I am a little bit obsessed with, and I don't have any of their pigments, so I really wanted to try that. And then finally, obviously, they had their power liner, which is like part black and part white, and that's smart. Like, you know, those are the liners that you get an awful lot of use out of, and technically you kind of get 3 in there as well, because you can mix the white and the black to make grey. I know some people don't like those split liners. I'm personally fine with them. Just get a wipe and, you know, it's fine. It's back to how it was. I think this is actually quite a nice collection. The best value is obviously the full collection. If you do like any of this, I would say get it sooner rather than later, considering it's limited edition. The other slight gripe that I have with Gloss Gods at the moment is they have their vintage palette, which is the purple one, and it's not on their website at all now. And because I wanted to get this for somebody, and I contacted them. They're like, yeah, it's not on stock and we don't know when or if it's coming back. And I'm like, no. So yeah, just like sad / frustrated. That's not even a gripe. I'm just like annoyed because I think it's a beautiful palette and it's one I like recommend to quite a few people. So I'm like, oh, I can't recommend something that doesn't really exist right now. So it does suck a little bit, but all in all, quite a nice collection. And my goodness, the ones that really sung to your heart were the multi-chromes, because we're talking about like 67 to 79% love it. They were very, very popular. The highlighter actually did really well as well, 67% love it. The liner then didn't do that great, which I wasn't that surprised about. We all have our own. And the palettes, you could really see the distinction there. The one with the multi-chromes did really, really well. 64% of you loved it. And then the more matte based one, 21% of you loved it. And I can totally see that. I can see how it is a little bit of a disjointed collection in that sense. You're best to actually get it all together rather than to get separate components of it. But I did end up liking it. I think it's actually quite pretty. And oh my god, this one, Glaminatrix. This is their new Sugar and Spice palette, and it's coming out on the 5th of August at 6 p.m. I think it's like Eastern Standard Time. So I think it's like 11 o'clock here in Ireland, like 11 p.m. Oh my goodness, this is stunning. And I've been going through like their Instagram to get like more and more pictures of this, and I've taken some pictures from say Basket Case Beauty, from It's Smithy Sunny, and from Shifty Shadow, and they've got some beautiful pictures. You'll be seeing them right now. And however beautiful it looked initially in the pictures that Glaminatrix showed, their pictures from their consumers are like what really sold it to me. They're beautiful. Now I have 2 Glaminatrix palettes so far, and the last one that I got was the Into the Night palette, which was so kindly gifted to me by the lovely Tina. I so appreciate it. I really enjoy their formula. I love the looksness of their brand. I love the case. There's a very like special feeling to their products, and it's a special one. This is like a splurge. This is not a like, I'll just buy this on a whim. It is a little bit pricier, and for me, like obviously transporting this from Australia to Ireland, that does cost a pretty penny, or a not so pretty penny. So it is something that I have to think about. I am going to get it. Like I have already justified it to myself. I think it's absolutely stunning, and I love the swatches. Their shimmer formula is just beautiful, and apparently they have said that they've changed their formula to be like a little bit more hard pressed, because the issue that they had with one of their palettes before, and it happened to me, was that some of the shimmers arrived damaged in transport, because unfortunately that happens sometimes. And what I really appreciate is that they've taken that on, they've taken that constructive criticism, and they've actually ran with it, and they've kind of improved upon it. I will also say that their customer service, top tier, was very happy with that. And for me, it's, you know, it's great when a brand is doing well, there's not been any issues, but you really see what a brand is made of when there's like a little issue like that. So they really show that they were very consumer driven. And look, this color story is a bit of me. There's like some greens, there's some purples, there's multi-chromes. Like I'm just looking at it and kind of going, yeah, you will be mine. There's a black in there. Like, shut up and take my money. I love it. I think it's absolutely stunning. I'm genuinely excited about this. And I will also say, I got a little bit weird when I put this into my stories, because I was saying to Danielle, I was like, the main thing I want to do with this palette is like rub it all over my entire body. So I did put that as being an option for you guys. And I will say, I love that 11% of you also felt that you wanted to roll your entire body in this. So when I combine that then with the 50% love it, my merciful dukes, like this has done very well. Like, fair play. Then the very last thing I want to talk about is About Face, which is of course the brand by Halsey. They have a new nude collection, and this is the first time they've really done any nudes. Anything in her collection so far has been very bright, very vibrant, and I feel like this is a perfect time to come out with this, and it's definitely missing in her collection so far. I love that for a celebrity brand, it is actually quite affordable. I'm basing these prices on their existing products, because this is like something that hasn't come out yet. The date is to be confirmed, but their painted matte lip colors are usually $16. Their light lock lip glosses are $13, and their matte fix lip liners are usually $12. So actually they're actually quite affordable for a celebrity brand when you think about it. And I love the tones of these. I think these are absolutely stunning. I hope this comes to Cult Beauty. I know Cult Beauty stocked them, and I think Beauty Bay stocked them as well. I'll have the links down below. Oh, they are. So let's just talk about the liquid lipsticks first. Nude Awakenings. Shut the front door. Remember when everyone was getting like super excited about when Melt were doing those like nude lipsticks, and they were absolutely stunning, let's be real. But this is a way more affordable alternative, and I personally prefer a liquid lipstick at times. Nude Awakenings, Grunge Guru, Deja Brew, and actually Oblivion is stunning. Burnt Sienna, I also would tango with 100%. Like, I think these are stunning. I hope they do like a bundle where you could get all 5 of these shades together for like a little bit of a reduction, like even if it's just like 10% or like 5% or whatever. I'm being greedy because it is actually already quite affordable, but I'm greedy. That's how it is. I think this is done really, really well. She's really kind of killing it in terms of this brand, and that's not easy in the current climate. Then the lip glosses. Okay, these are super, super cute. Bitter Half? Shut up. So cute. I really love kind of, it's not quite concealer lips, but it's like, you know, taupier. Scorcher, Play Hooky, Dare to Bear, Feel It All. They are beautiful. There's a richness, like a chocolatiness to them. Like I feel like I've just eaten like a whole box of chocolates and I've smeared it across my lips. That's what I want to look like with this. I think it's beautiful, and for the price, again, very, very good. Those lip liners as well, really, really nice shades. I do wish they had maybe 1 or 2 like very, very deep dark in there. That's my one critique. I feel like these are a little bit too light. We needed 1 or 2 that were like extra, extra dark, because this isn't quite hitting the mark. But for $12, I actually think this is quite interesting. That pale one, Shameless. Oh, that is nice, because it is very, very difficult to get like a very light lip liner, so I'm kind of here for it. And this is like, in my opinion, done really, really well. When I put it to you guys though, it wasn't as popular. I will say, you know, maybe it's just like celebrity brands that people aren't really that into, because that was a little bit of a theme, between 9 and 15% if you said that. But the lip pencils did okay. That was a 31% love it. The lip glosses got a 21% love it, and the liquid lipsticks got a 32% love it. So actually not that bad altogether, but definitely not as good as I thought it was going to do. But my gorgeous friends, that's it. I know it's a bit of a weird one when it's me by myself. I'm not as much fun as when I have Tia. I have to, you know, try to be charismatic by myself, and that is not easy. I fail on a regular basis. But I have caffeine, so that does help. I do have my favorite comment, and this was from the lovely Rhea, who said, "What you mean lose your mind? I thought you already have." It's true, Rhea, but sometimes it comes back intermittently. It's sort of like a boomerang. So sometimes my mind comes back to me and then I lose it all over again. Yeah, but anyways, my friends, that is it. Hopefully next week I will have Tia with me, but I will be 100% honest with you guys. I'm still at that point of flux where we have a lot of things going on. I'm hoping to go on like a little mini break with Sahil, because he hasn't had a holiday in a really, really long time, and let's be real, he 100% deserves it. So I will drop things to make sure that he has a nice time, and you know, if that means not putting out a video, that's going to be the story. But my gorgeous friends, that is it. Do please like, comment and subscribe. Turn on that notification bell because it's polite, and do please share, because sharing is caring, except of course for STDs, in which case, you know, wrap it up, don't be gross. But that's it. That's the end of the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.